You know that feeling when you have, like, a massive presentation coming up or a high-stakes meeting?
Oh, yeah, the dread.
Right, or even just a severely daunting to-do list staring you down. And you put on that one specific outfit.
Mm,
Suddenly you catch your reflection and your posture is just, slightly different. Your jaw is set. It's almost like you've put on a suit of armor
it really is.
because you have the exact same life, the exact same problems, the exact same bank account as you did 10 minutes ago when you were standing there in your pajamas.
Yeah.
But inexplicably, you feel like a completely different person.
Yeah, it's a profound neurological shift, actually.
Yeah.
We experience it routinely, almost automatically, but we rarely stop to analyze the actual mechanics of why altering our physical outer layer changes our internal cognitive state.
Welcome to the deep dive. If you are listening to this, I know you. You are a learner, you're on a journey of continuous improvement, and you're always looking for that next mental edge.
Oh,
Today, our mission is to unpack an incredibly fascinating document we got our hands on. It's titled, Can Clothing Really Change Your Mindset? Let's Talk Truth.
it's a great read.
It really is. The central premise explores exactly what we just described, that undeniable shift in identity when you change your clothes. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Because our goal today is not to peddle fluff. We are entirely skipping the, superficial positive thinking seminars.
Right, none of that cringe stuff.
Exactly. We want to break down the actual psychology of what is real, what might just be a placebo, and how the fabric you wear might actually be a legitimate, highly effective tool for personal growth.
And to do that properly, we're going to have to explore the intersection of cognitive psychology, the mechanics of habit building, and how those systems map directly onto everyday apparel.
Which sounds intense, but it makes so much sense.
It does. It just requires looking analytically at something most of us consider to be, purely aesthetic.
Yeah. But before we even get into whether clothing changes our mindset, we need to establish a working definition of mindset. Because, the word has been hijacked by a lot of self-help gurus.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
Right. We need to move past the cliche of just smiling in the mirror and thinking happy thoughts.
Yeah, a much more functional definition to work with based on the text is viewing your mindset as your default operating system.
Default operating system. I like that.
It is not a fleeting emotional mood. Your mindset is the underlying code that dictates, what you expect out of life, what you're willing to tolerate from others and from yourself, how you interpret pressure, and crucially, how you behave when absolutely no one is watching you.
So if your mindset is the heavy software running in the background, then your outfit is like the macro key on your keyboard.
That's a great way to look at it.
You don't have to code the feeling of focus from scratch every single morning. You just hit the hotkey to launch the program. And viewing it that way points to a massive paradigm shift from the source material. Most of us walk around assuming our clothing is a signal we are broadcasting to the world.
Right, like we dress to tell other people we are professional or trendy or athletic.
Exactly. But fundamentally, clothing is a signal we are sending to ourselves.
Yeah, and that internal signaling is grounded in what psychologists call self-perception theory.
Okay, what is that exactly?
Well, we often observe our own behavior and our own appearance to figure out who we are and how we should be feeling.
Oh, wow.
So every single morning, you make a choice that gives your brain a set of instructions. You are putting on an outfit that silently says, I'm locked in today, or I really don't care today, or maybe I'm hiding.
I want to ask you, the listener, to pause for a second. Think about what you are wearing right this exact moment. What is your current outfit secretly signaling to your own brain?
It's a confronting question.
It really is. Are you signaling focus?
Yeah.
Or are you signaling retreat?
It forces you to evaluate your environment, which naturally brings up the most common skeptical pushback to this entire concept.
Right. And I'll play the skeptic here because when I first started looking into this, part of my brain immediately went, come on.
Naturally.
If I put on a structured jacket instead of a soft hoodie and suddenly I am writing better emails and performing better at my desk, am I just tricking myself? Is it fake?
Yeah.
Isn't this just a giant cotton blend placebo effect?
This raises an important question, and the answer requires us to look at the broader field of environmental psychology.
Okay.
We accept that our environment alters our brain state all the time.
Hmm.
Think about how supermarkets use like cool lighting and slow music to make you linger,
Oh, yeah.
or how fast food restaurants use bright reds and yellows and fast music to turn tables over quickly.
Or even how listening to high-tempo music literally changes your heart rate during a workout. No one argues that the music is a placebo.
Exactly. Your entire life is shaped by your psychology interacting with your environment. So why on earth would clothing the environment that is literally touching your skin, providing constant tactile feedback to your nervous system all day long, why would that be the one environmental factor that is magically neutral?
That is such a good point.
It isn't. The weight of a jacket, the restriction of a collar, the softness of a familiar shirt, these are constant sensory inputs telling your brain how to interpret the current moment.
Which means it's an active variable you can control, but there is a trap here, and the text warns about this. If we accept that clothing alters our brain state, the temptation is to start relying purely on the clothes to do the heavy lifting. Like, I know people who have a specific lucky item they need to wear to pitch a client or take a test.
Oh, we all know someone like that.
Right. And if that item is in the wash, their confidence completely evaporates. They are literally neutralized by laundry day.
Yeah, that fragility is exactly what happens when you use clothing as a mask to hide behind,
Yeah.
rather than a reflection of your actual competence.
Yes. It's the difference between playing dress up to pretend to be someone you're not versus using an outfit as a physical reminder of who you already are or who you are actively working to become. The clothes shouldn't be generating the confidence. They should be unlocking it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because we can look at how this philosophy actually operates out in the wild.
Okay, let's hear it.
There is a distinct difference between brands built on external validation versus internal transformation. Look at the contrast between traditional flex culture and what we might call identity culture.
Oh, flex culture is everywhere. It's those premium brands overcharging for garments, often featuring stiff, scratchy fabrics where the sole purpose is to broadcast status.
Just a giant logo.
Exactly. You wear a giant logo to say, look how much money I spent to be this uncomfortable. It's entirely about seeking approval from the outside world.
Yeah, identity culture flips that. There's a brand mentioned in the source called BKLEO Clothing that serves as a perfect case study for this.
I remember this part.
Their core philosophy is literally wear your mindset. They reframe apparel as a cognitive tool, focusing on extreme physical comfort so you aren't distracted by your environment, combined with motivational messaging designed to actively reinforce your internal baseline.
And they totally bypass the subtle logos and go straight for identity declarations.
Yeah.
They have pieces named things like built different, stop thinking small, fearless.
Yeah, strong names.
Even not human, willpower. From dust I rise. Which is intense, but I want to drill down into how this actually works mechanically. Let's look at one of their specific designs, the Why Not t-shirt.
Oh, that's a great example.
The design features the word YII trapped inside a graphic box, representing inquiry and the confines of our current comfort zone. But the word not is placed physically outside the box.
It's a visual disruption, and that disruption acts as a wearable interrupt against the hesitation loop.
The hesitation loop.
Yeah, a hesitation loop is that cognitive friction you experience when you face a challenge. Your amygdala senses risk. Maybe it's a difficult conversation or starting a new project, and your brain immediately starts generating excuses to keep you safe and comfortable.
Oh, right. You start spiraling. I shouldn't apply for that promotion. I'm not qualified enough. I'm too tired to go to the gym.
Exactly. But when you're wearing a physical disruptor like that shirt, and you catch a glimpse of it in the mirror, or you look down at your chest, just as you are about to back out of a hard task, it visually interrupts that downward neural spiral.
Wow.
It asks you the question right when you need to hear it. Why not? It forces your brain to justify the hesitation, which usually breaks the spell of procrastination.
It's essentially a wearable coach.
Pretty much.
But if this is just a macro key that launches our internal software, it implies that the software still actually has to be installed, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I can't just put on a fitness shirt and expect to run a marathon if I haven't trained. I can't buy a shirt that says willpower, sit on the couch eating junk food, and expect my life to change.
No, definitely not. If we connect this to the bigger picture, confidence that only exists in your closet is incredibly fragile. Confidence backed by action is unstoppable.
Right.
The hack completely fails if you use it to compensate. Trying to buy respect with a slogan instead of earning it through your actions just reads as insecure.
So we know it doesn't do the push-ups for you. But let's talk about how we maximize the effect when we are willing to do the work. How do we deliberately build that macro key connection?
Well, there are a few conditions where it really shines.
Like what?
First, you have to already desire the change. And second, it works best when tied directly to a habit.
Okay, I actually noticed this in my own life a few years ago. I used to work from home in sweatpants, and my focus was terrible.
Yeah, that's a common struggle.
Right. I eventually bought this one specific heavy wool cardigan. I decided I would only ever wear it when I was doing deep, focused writing. If I wore it to watch TV, it felt wrong. Now, the second I put that heavy sweater on, my brain immediately shifts into work mode.
Yes. What you did was leverage classical conditioning. You built a dedicated neural pathway.
Okay, science time. Tell me more.
When you put that cardigan on, right before doing deep work, day after day, your brain's limbic system started associating the physical weight, the warmth, and the texture of that specific fabric with dopamine release and intense focus.
So I trained my brain like Pavlov's dog, but with knitwear.
Essentially, yes. Eventually, the associative learning becomes so strong that simply putting the garment on triggers the chemical response before you even open your laptop.
That is wild.
And it works best when it reduces physical friction, too. If your clothes fit well and feel good, you stop fidgeting. You stop readjusting your collar, and you can allocate all that reclaimed cognitive bandwidth to the actual task.
That makes so much sense. We are using the physical environment to cue the mental state, which brings us to the most actionable part of our deep dive today. We found a behavioral protocol designed to test this exact mechanism.
This is my favorite part of the document.
It's so good. It steps away from just talking about the vibes of an outfit and looks at hard, trackable data. It's called the 7-Day Outfit Mindset Experiment, and I am officially challenging you, the listener, to try this.
I highly recommend it. The protocol is divided into 2 phases. Days 1 and 2 establish your baseline. You just wear your normal, everyday default outfits.
Okay, simple enough.
But the critical step is that you must track 4 specific metrics at the end of each day on a scale of 1 to 10. Your mood, your focus, your confidence, and your productivity.
And for productivity, you have to be brutally honest. Did you actually do the important thing you needed to do today, or did you just answer emails to feel busy?
Right, you can't lie to the data. Once you have your baseline data, days 3 through 7 are the intentional identity phase. This is where you manipulate the variable.
The fun part.
Exactly. Each morning, you pick a specific internal message for the day, and you attach it to a specific measurable action.
Let's use some of those BK-LEO mantras as examples. Say you declare Tuesday a fearless day. The attached action might be having a difficult conversation with a coworker you've been avoiding.
Perfect example.
Or maybe Wednesday is a restricted access day, and your required action is protecting your time by saying no to a low-priority meeting.
And here's a crucial point. You don't need to purchase new clothing with these slogans printed on them to run the experiment.
You don't.
No, the mechanism works through intentionality. Write your chosen message down on a piece of paper, put it in your pocket, and consciously select items from your existing wardrobe that match the energy of the action you need to take.
That is brilliant.
If the environmental cue actually changes your mindset, it will objectively show up in the behavioral metrics you track at the end of the week.
Behavior, not just a temporary feeling. And there is significant social proof indicating that this kind of intentional dressing yields real results.
Oh, absolutely.
Looking back at the BK-LEO case study, they have a massive customer base, over 12,000 customers, and a 4.8 out of 5 average rating. But the compelling part isn't the star rating, it's the language people use in the reviews.
Yeah, the feedback is rarely about fashion or aesthetics. Customers write things like, "I'm not who I used to be, stronger, more focused," or "It reminds me how far I've come."
It reminds me how far I've come. That hits hard. When you are actively trying to change your default operating system, you are fighting against years of ingrained habits and comfortable neural pathways.
It's an uphill battle.
You need constant physical reminders of your new standard. Every environmental cue you can leverage in your favor is a strategic advantage.
It literally transforms your wardrobe from a passive covering into an active instrument for behavioral design.
So what does this all mean? The mechanics are clear. Clothing is a constant source of sensory feedback that tells your brain how to interpret the present moment. If you use it with intentionality, it reinforces your chosen identity, reduces the friction of getting started through classical conditioning, and acts as a visual interrupt to break your hesitation loops. I want to ask you, the listener, directly, what is your uniform when you really need to lock in?
Yeah, think about it.
Is it a specific heavy hoodie? Is it a sharp blazer? Is it a matching athletic set that makes you feel fast the second you put it on? Figure out what that physical trigger is for you and start using it on purpose.
And I'll leave you with one final provocative thought to consider regarding the environmental cues you keep in your life.
Let's hear it.
Take a walk to your closet today. Look at the clothes you've kept hanging there for years, but that you never, ever wear. Are you holding on to them because you secretly feel you aren't that person yet? That you haven't earned the right to wear that bold color or that sharp suit?
Wow.
And if so, what would happen if you bypassed the hesitation, forced your brain's operating system to run that new software, and simply put it on tomorrow morning?
That is a brilliant challenge. Put on the armor, click the macro key, and see what program launches. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into mindset, identity, and the fascinating mechanics of what we wear. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and we warmly invite you back for our next deep dive. See you then.